to the Welcome to the DGD Podcast, folks. Look at you. I like that shirt. I'm just gonna let this be known. This is basically an emergency show change. If you're not, or have you not heard, if you're listening to this, Nick Saban announced his retirement just a mere few hours ago. Monumental news for college football. Keon, first things first. You heard the news. Chris Lowe reported it first. Huge news, but what does it mean for Georgia? We're going to talk about that. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are about Nick Saban's retirement. What does it mean for Georgia? I want you to answer that question. But first, let's start the show off the right way with our friends at Apatios Roastery, located in Kennesaw, Georgia. Get yourself some damn good coffee. Listen, it is quite literally the coffee of champions. Ask Tate Ratledge. Believe me when I say that. Go to our website, dgdpodcast.com. Go to our sponsors, click Apatios, and shop. When you do, use code CCC, that's CCC, and you'll get free shipping regardless of the size of your order, and 20% of every bag of coffee that you buy or K-Cups goes towards the Classic City Collective, because Apatios is the coffee and cold brew partner of the Classic City Collective. Therefore, you are doing an NIL play by drinking some motherfucking elite coffee. So check out Apatios, hit our website. You see it right there, dgdpodcast.com. Get yourself some coffee today. Support them dogs. Keon, I want to get your thoughts on this Saban news. It caught me off guard a little bit, not gonna lie. But I think we knew it had to come at some point. But what are your thoughts on this news?
I'm gonna be all the way honest with you. It caught me off guard. He's the GOAT, man. Got to respect what he's been able to do over there at Alabama, and he's brought up a lot of coaches under him, including Kirby Smart as well. And we here, us Georgia Bulldog fans, we're all grateful for him. With that said, the conference is ours.
I knew you were going there.
The conference is ours.
Keon, I want to bring something up to you. Saw a lot of Alabama fans just super hurt, rightfully so. But there was a lot of shit talk from a lot of Bama fans for so long. And to those fans, not every Bama fan is like this. Let's be honest. But to those, here's what we have in store for you.
Hey, man, what's wrong with you niggas, man?
There you go, Bama fans. There you go.
Yeah,
laughing
at the pain,
Now that's not for all Bama fans by any means.
No.
But to the ones that deserve it. I'm just gonna leave that there. Heard some reckless shit, man. Heard some reckless shit. We try to tell people, man. I went, talking to people. Listen, may or may not, but it makes sense. All the things were lining up, and just so happens that it did. Keon, I want to ask you this: what are your thoughts on this announcement 2 years to the day of Keely Ringo's pick six to win Georgia's first title in 40 years?
Beautiful. I absolutely love it. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I'm now at this point, I'm just kind of looking towards the season. I'm looking towards the off season. I'm looking towards spring ball, and it's a great day.
It really is. I'll tell you this. I'm not going to sit here and I would be a fool to sit here and clown and laugh and make jokes about Nick Saban retiring without giving him respect. Listen, the man is the GOAT. Okay. I understand he's Bama. I get it. But you cannot sit here and tell me otherwise, that he is the greatest. If you sit here and tell me that he is not the greatest coach of all time, I can't take you seriously. The dude has earned my respect. So listen, hats off to an excellent career.
100%.
Excellent career. Excellent career.
100%.
Yeah, I don't know. Even if you hate Alabama and you hate Nick Saban, you still have to sit there and understand what that man did for college football. He made people hate college football because he was that good for that long. Just gonna leave that there.
No, that's a fact.
Just gonna leave that there. But with that being said, he can ride off with Terry. And listen, from a Georgia fan, I wish you the best in your retirement.
No, 100%.
I really do.
100%.
No jokes, no bullshit. Wish you the best. You earned it. You earned it. You earned it. John Sam, welcome to the brigade. Star Wars, what's good? What is going on, Brennan?
What's up with it, Brennan?
John's saying that Dan Lanning and Eric Bieniemy have been contacted by Bama, which leads us to this. Way too early boards are all over the place.
Yeah, I believe one of those.
A lot of people have been saying Dan Lanning.
Yeah.
Listen, Nick Saban has built Alabama from a reputation standpoint and as a machine to the point where anybody, if they come calling, you listen.
No, 100%.
I think you would have to. You would have to.
Yeah, I mean, the way how I'm looking at it, of course, outsider looking in, I would assume they got 3 coaches that I think you have to reach out to. In no particular order, you got Lane Kiffin, you got Dan Lanning, and honestly, you got Steve Sarkisian. I mean, at this point, you might as well check all 3 of those boxes. If depending on which Bama fans you ask, 2 of those were kind of groomed at the point in time to take over Bama with Lane Kiffin and Steve Sarkisian. So, but definitely, I think they're going to reach out to those guys plus many more. I hope it's one of those 3 guys, truthfully, just so that we can potentially keep Glenn Schumann. But that's kind of the route I'm hoping.
I think it would, for what it's worth, man. I think Lanning would be an excellent hire, but at the same time, like, does Bama look at Georgia's success with hiring Kirby Smart and try to make an attempt for Schumann? And what I mean by that is this: when Mark Richt was fired and Georgia hired Kirby Smart had no head coaching experience, just a long-term DC, right? Been there with Saban. And it paid off for Georgia. Now, Georgia also has the resources, same as Bama, right? Schumann is an alum of Alabama. If you're not aware, he's an alum from Alabama. Kirby is an alum from Georgia. It ties out, and the stories are similar. But to me, I just feel like this is going to be a bigger name in a sense of, with some head coaching experience. I think you're going to see an elite recruiter because Bama's built themselves up to be that way. And you're not going to replicate Nick Saban. You're just not. But you're going to try to find the closest thing to it that you can, if you will. So I think you're looking at somebody like, I think Dan Lanning, he's young. I think you're going to find somebody young in this, by the way. To me, it makes sense. Because the game of college football as a head coach and really as a coach in general, you have to be adaptive to the hyper realistic changing of college football. It is changing faster than you can blink your eyes. It's a 24/7 job. It's a 25/8, if you will. You're managing your own roster. You're trying to get in the portal. Your high school recruiting. It is taxing. It is very taxing. And I'm not even sitting here saying this. I'm just watching it from the outside, and it looks that way.
No, I can definitely only imagine. I can only imagine what those guys are going through when it comes to that. Yet again, you touched on a couple of points already that I agree with. Whether if you're trying to keep guys on your roster, whether if you're trying to go out there and get guys in the portal, or even potentially, try to, of course, nudge the idea of a certain player on other teams to get into the portal. I feel like at this current point in time of college football, recruiting season is never over.
John Sam brings up a good point here. It looks like a quote from something saying that Saban's close relationship with Bieniemy, talking about Eric Bieniemy, has led Alabama officials to make a strong push towards the NFL offensive coordinator. Saban wants Bieniemy to take over the Alabama program. Now, I don't know where John found this. So if you let me know where you found that, please do. I'd like to kind of cite that source, that quote. But to me, Eric Bieniemy is an intriguing name, right? Which leads you to show that Alabama is going to get attention from not only the collegiate ranks, but the NFL.
Yeah.
Absolutely going to check out the NFL.
I mean, I think there's a couple of guys that you would kind of hope they take a shot at, I mean, you also got Mike Vrabel, who also not too long ago got fired from Tennessee as well. I could see them making a push for him, even though he has many offers going around as far as the NFL. There's a lot of speculation of where he could go, but I do think this is going to be a high market job. I do think there's going to be a lot of people that you're going to see different names get thrown out there. I just think at this point, just sitting and waiting and seeing what happens is probably going to be the best thing. But definitely pay attention to it up close.
I don't think you're going to be waiting long. I think they make.
Yeah,
I think they make a hire quick.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen within the next 7 days. I'm not going to lie to you, but it's going to continue to develop as the time continues to go on.
I think with Alabama in this state right now, right? Like the portal can be a detriment to you right now without a head coach, and especially that one, right? Without Nick Saban, I mean, you already had Ryan Williams decommit. Listen, he's more than likely going to Auburn. Let's not play ourselves here. My thing is this: what does it mean for the kids in the portal? I think Alabama has to act fast and get the right hire too, but act fast. What are your thoughts?
I think the kids that are even in the portal, they also have to act fast in a sense, because with these, with all of the stuff going on with Nick Saban retiring, I think it's going to bring a lot more attention to more of the Alabama players that are going to jump into the portal. So, I mean, if you're a kid in the portal and you're watching this, definitely make your move quick. I mean, honestly. But overall, I do think it's going to bring a lot of light to those kids that are planning on hitting the portal. And I think if you're a coach in the SEC, your ears kind of perk up a little bit, especially if there's certain positions that you're looking.
It's not even the SEC.
Well, no, I'm talking about just in general, but just like in the conference. If you're a coach inside of the conference and you're trying to fill some holes, you want to make a move quick. It has to.
Lane Kiffin is salivating.
I mean,
100%.
I mean, Lane Kiffin could be one of the people that could potentially be Alabama's next head coach.
Mm-hmm. John's just dropping names, man. I'd love to know where John's getting this information because we're live right now. But he's saying Bama's also reached out to Bobby Slowick, Dabo, Marcus Freeman, and Neil Brown. So they're moving. They're moving.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how it's all going to play out. One thing I don't understand at this point, but maybe I might not be the right one to ask him questions, but how the hell did Auburn do this? How you get potentially they're on the verge of getting Ryan Williams, which would then mean that they have 3 5-star wide receivers. Who's the quarterback?
Still, I think Uncle Rico might try to find his way.
I mean, honestly,
I heard Forrest Gump's got a slow brother that's actually got some eligibility. I mean, must be from Greenville or something. I don't know.
Probably. I mean, it's just I look at it and it's very intriguing to me. But nevertheless, this what a way to kick off the offseason. Nick Saban retires. Wow. All we need now is the NCAA college football. Looking at y'all, NCAA. Let's make a move.
By the way, while there hasn't been an announcement, make this man the cover. Let's be serious. Let's be serious.
Nick Saban?
Why not? Why not?
So
explain to me why not. I understand you put Jaden Daniels. I've heard that logic. But you're talking about the fucking GOAT of college football.
So
why not on that kind of return?
So here's what I would do, right? I would drop the standard the standard NCAA, excuse me. I would drop Jaden Daniels on there. Put him on there.
The deluxe edition, you talking about like the GOAT edition or something like that?
Yeah. Fam, the Ultimate Team edition, boom, hit him with Saban on the cover.
Dude, Alabama fans would buy that shit up quick.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, can't blame them, I suppose.
I think any and everybody would buy that just to see what all it comes with. But truthfully, I think that'd be the best way to do it. I wouldn't put him on the cover just off of the standard one.
Why don't you do like an Xbox and a PlayStation? You could do that too, where you have different covers.
Nah, because I think it's crossplay.
I don't know much about games. I don't really play them, man.
No, I do. So, I think it would be. I think NCAA is going to be crossplay this go around, where no matter if you're on PlayStation 5 or if you're on the new Xbox, you'd be able to get it and go there. But that's what I would do. I would on the standard NCAA, you would have Jaden Daniels, but like the deluxe, like
the Ultimate Edition,
well, it would probably be the Ultimate Team Edition. I would put Nick Saban on the cover. I think you got to include him somewhere. What's going on, Parker? Welcome in.
Keon, let's transition to some Georgia here. That moment, if you remember that clip of Kirby and Saban kind of talking and embracing in the SEC title game before the game.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different now, doesn't it?
Well, see, to me, I felt like that was like the telltale sign that he was retiring. I felt like this was going to be it, especially at that moment. But to finally see how it all played out, like it, because even if you go back and you listen to that clip again, it sounds like a farewell. Like Kirby is like, oh, well, I appreciate everything that you've done for me, everything you've done for me up until this point. Boom, boom. They shake hands and they go their separate ways and the clip ends. To me, that sounds like it was a farewell from the very beginning.
Good. I mean, very well. It seems like it is now in hindsight, for sure.
100%.
Let's do this. So with Saban gone, obviously we don't know who's the head coach, but we assume it's going to be a marquee name. You have to assume this. What does that mean moving forward? Because we do go to Tuscaloosa in week 5 this upcoming season. I think the dynamic of that game is going to change, but I'm curious to hear how you think that it changes if it does.
Honestly, I think we're going to come into that game very confident. It's going to be interesting to see who becomes the head coach. But overall, I think I'm not going to lie to you. I think we go into Alabama now and get that dub. I'm not going to lie.
Keep in mind,
like anything can happen. It is way too early, but way too early prediction.
It's going to have a weird feel to it. And I'm not saying it's going to be a bad feel. It's just going to be different because, again, it's been a thing since 2007. He's been on that sideline. You know what I mean? So when you're looking over the Alabama team that's not led by Nick Saban and he's not sick, right? Remember that COVID year? It's not that situation. It's going to be different. It's just going to be different. It's going to have a different feel to it. I hope that it turns out to still be a good game. I think it will be a good game because Bama's still got the talent. They just do. Keon asks, so Parker asks, who is the new coach for Alabama football for next year? Let's do a way too early prediction. Let's see if we get it right.
Yeah, go first.
Who? Oh, you want me to go first? Thank you, sir. If I had to choose, I think my man Sam is going to say this. I think if I haven't heard much about Bieniemy, but I see it. I see it. My mind tells me Lanning, but my heart tells me Bieniemy because I think Bieniemy deserves a shot. He's been proven to be a damn good offensive coordinator. I'm just curious if he gets the Alabama job as a first-time head coach. Makes sense to me. I'll take John over here. I'm gonna go Bieniemy just out of the win.
I would say, because yet again, y'all know I have it, three different options, whether it be Sark, Lane, or Dan. I can make a case for all three, but then again, I can also tell you why all three would not take that very same option as well. My case for Dan is, Dan might be in a situation where, he really wants to come back down to the SEC. He wants to compete with the elite of the elite, even though he's helped turn that program over there in Oregon all the way up. But, I mean, that could be another way for him to come back. I could say Lane Kiffin. He's been very vocal over the past few years when it comes to his roster and what they're equipped to do. And, the limitations that they really have there at Ole Miss. So I could see it also being him. I could also see it potentially being Sark, where Sark, he really wants to truly win that national championship. He's also, very grateful to Saban for, going out on a limb for him, coming back from his bouts of adversity. So I could see it being him as well. And I could also say it could be none of the three. I could also say that Lane Kiffin has went into the portal to help build up his roster, and he doesn't want to just leave those kids high and dry. I could say that Dan Lanning, even though he, made them a better team, he's also gotten them to step up as well when it comes to recruiting. They've recruited the trenches well, especially if you're looking at this 2024 class. And on top of that, he might be comfortable at Oregon. He might like Oregon. He might like the West Coast. And then Sark, I could also say Sark could decide not to take it as well because of the simple fact, you've really tried to establish yourself here in Texas. You tried to, or you want to not only establish yourself, but, you went out here and you grabbed Arch, and you don't want to just leave Arch and everything else that you're trying to do. You're trying to establish a foothold yet again in the state of Texas to truly assert the fact of Texas being the flagship of the state. So, I mean, for all three, I can make the case for and against. My two, though, that I think it would really come down to, I think it comes down to either Dan Lanning or Lane Kiffin.
I think that's a good pick. I think I would say Lanning out of the two. Just my thoughts. But Lane Kiffin transcended that offense from what we remember Alabama as being a bully ball, murder ball type football team. And Lane Kiffin comes in and immediately transforms that to what we're used to seeing, the Bama of modern Bama, if you will. Just airing it out, pro receiver, left and right. It's interesting to watch. It very well is. I could see either one of those. I could also see Bieniemy too. I think that was a very interesting name. I didn't even think about. Right, I didn't think about that, but it turns out it's actually a pretty interesting name because it would bring a dynamic to that offense
100%.
for sure. I mean, you're still getting you're still getting youth too. You're getting younger, obviously, but again, I just think you look at a guy that's got some head coaching, ultimately too. So, while I like Bieniemy there, I do also think that you have to take into context the head coaching experience. I think you're going to try to find somebody with it. So.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I think if you're going in that direction, I think Lane Kiffin would really be the answer. He's a veteran coach, so I think he might be that route. Plus, he's not a stranger to Bama. The way how they play, I don't know. I don't know. But then again, I could also say, man, this is it's one of those ones. It's a back and forth thing because yet again, you could also say with Dan Lanning, he's a young coach. The game of college football, the game of football, period, no matter if you want to talk college or NFL, it's getting younger and younger and younger. So I could see a situation where it could be Dan.
I mean, he's definitely he's relatable to players. I think the players gravitate toward him, right? I mean, we see that at Oregon, right?
100%.
So I mean, it'll be interesting. I think, like I said, you're not going to have to wait too long, right? Brennan says if he was Lanning, he wouldn't leave Oregon, but he thinks he will go to Bama. I mean, listen, from an NIL perspective, guys, NIL, I think Oregon with Phil Knight there, like Phil Knight's ready to spend some damn money. They ain't got Tiger to pay for anymore.
Yeah.
So there's some money there, some extra allocation of resources.
Shout outs to Tiger,
There you for shizzle.
You know what I'm saying? Getting to the bag, something crazy. But yeah. I just think this is going to be a very interesting search. And I think it's crazy because I also think that everybody in the conference, their eyes are 100% glued to this situation to see, all right, so who's going to go here? Oh, are they going to take our coaching staff?
It's literally going to be a domino effect. I mean, 100% will. We know, especially with something like that, because like I said, you're going to take from – you're not going to go and do what Florida did and grab Billy Napier. You're not going to do that.
Oh, no.
You're not going to do that. So, I mean, for what it's worth.
I wonder who he might – so whoever the head coach might be.
Well, they gotta bring in a DC too. But I think I'm curious now that the head coaching job opened, they probably wait for the DC, hire the head coach first, get the DC. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I've been hearing, of course, amongst our group chats, there's Georgia fans are like, oh, we're gonna lose Glenn Schumann. I'm like, I think the only way we lose Glenn Schumann is if he becomes the head coach. And yet again, I don't think Bama.
He's not going to do a lateral move. I mean,
yeah, no, he's not. I just don't think that Bama is a school that you start, your first coaching tenure.
Well, the problem is the factor of the alumni factor does matter, but I think the Georgia DC job is better than most head coaching jobs. Like, I'm not saying that in a sense, like if an elite head, like I think a top tier level school comes calling for a head coach, I think you look at it, you have to. Alabama is the one. Alabama is the one. If they wanted to go for Glenn Schumann, I think Glenn would pop. That's the one. That's the one.
100%.
Just the ties and everything. But if he doesn't and they go somewhere else, I will say this.
Hallelujah. Thank you, God. Oh.
Georgia defense still going to be set, though.
Regardless. It don't matter.
Mm-hmm. Let's do this, man. Second sponsor of the night, guys. Y'all know him. Y'all love him. We love him, too. Alumni Hall. Check them out at Athens GA 1791 Oconee Connector. Follow them on Instagram. Follow them on the Bird app or X, right? We're live on X, by the way. At Alumni Hall UGA. Or you can go to our website, dgdpodcast.com. Hit that sponsors tab. Go down to Alumni Hall. Support the show. Shopping through our website, or if you're in stores and you're in Athens, drop by, tell them we sent you, mention the show, and you'll get 10% off your order. So make sure you check them out. Listen, they got licensed Nike, Cutter and Buck, Keon, you name it, they got it, right? It's just what they do. It's what they do.
Oh, 100%.
Thank you, Alumni Hall. Now, the main question of the night, Keon. What does Nick Saban's retirement mean for Georgia? I'll tell you what it means. This is Georgia's conference to run away with, given the 100%. Opportunity. 100%. Not saying they will. Not saying they will because it's easier said than done. But it appears that the only kryptonite to Kirby Smart has been Nick Saban. You know what I mean? In my opinion. And now that kryptonite has gone. So it will be very interesting to see what that means for Georgia, because I think Georgia can run roughshod over this conference as long as Kirby Smart's there. Just gonna leave that there. Just gonna leave that there. I think it gives Georgia a huge opportunity to assert their dominance and hold that. Basically, just start to hold that grasp over the conference. Because Bama did it for so long, long. So I think Georgia could easily do this, considering how well Georgia, how well we're recruiting at consistent levels, right? And just, all the factors that tie into this, if you will. But I also look at it this way. I'm not saying Bama's going to fall off a cliff. I don't think that happens. Bama's set up to sustain themselves well enough not to do that. But they better be careful because it is extremely hard and the pressure is on whichever human being accepts the job as the next head coach at Alabama.
So I'll tell you this. I think if Alabama, if they decide to hire Lane Kiffin, I could see a world where they're back in the SEC championship this upcoming season. I think if they hire Dan Lanning, I mean, they might make it. Maybe. They're not winning it.
Fair. It'll be interesting to see what happens for sure. I just think that, what is recruiting going to look like? Depending upon who becomes the new head coach, because Georgia and Alabama has been in recruiting battle after recruiting battle after recruiting battle for the whole tenure of Kirby Smart. Now you have that recruiting pitch that you don't have to worry about Saban because he's gone.
Facts.
That could make or break some key decisions. Just think about it. Just think about that. There's a couple names that I'm not going to mention that we know all too well that could matter. Because if Nick Saban's there or not there, excuse me, I think you've got some Bama guys definitely in the red and black.
100%. Well, yeah, no, 100%.
Asked this question, and Brennan says that it means Kirby is the best head coach in college football, and it's a huge gap.
I agree. I think especially if you're looking at the way of where Georgia is trending, you look at, just a record over these years of what Kirby has been able to accomplish here at Georgia and leading the Dogs to back-to-back national championships in the college football playoff, the hardest era to win a national championship. I don't think that falls under deaf ears under any circumstances. I think a lot of people understand, not only what it takes, but how difficult it is. And, to see the process and the progress and the success of the Dogs.
Yeah. I'm very interested too, right? With just the news and how recent and how new everything is and how just the dynamic around this whole situation. I think everybody is. Who is going to hit the portal from Alabama now that this pops, right? It's about to get interesting. And I mean interesting.
100%.
I'm not gonna put people in the portal. I don't do that. But if they hit, we'll know. You'll know if it's somebody that I'm thinking that does. And if they hit the portal, Kirby Smart, I know you listen to the show. You know who I'm talking about. Make it happen. Make it happen.
Yeah, man, look. Yet again, I don't want us to get ourselves too excited, but no, if we're on the same line, we're thinking the same. We're thinking the same names. If we're able to get in with those guys and bring them here, I think what this team looks like coming into 2024 is prime Monstars.
I know you for sure.
I know you remember the Monstars. Yeah.
Who doesn't? We're talking about Michael Jordan, not this LeBron shit. All right.
Yeah, no, definitely Michael Jordan. Definitely.
Brandon trying to play guess who? Like, calm down. Not even that. Not even that one. Brennan. Not even that.
Mhm.
I've got one name, same letter. And I mean, he's tied to the show technically too. If you get where I'm going, there's your clue. Guess it. Kian. So we talked about what it means for Georgia, right? By the way, last night we do a show because Monday's national title, so we moved the show to Tuesday. We moved the show to Tuesday, Wednesday for this week. And we sit here, and last night, if you didn't listen, I highly suggest you to go listen to it. It was really, really thoughtful and insightful, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Basically, talking to all these transfer guys, right? And how
Yeah.
we, and what our expectations are,
Yeah.
guys. Shall I say, while the podcast is uploading for your viewing pleasure, we get news that Jaden Mayava flips from Georgia to USC as the podcast is loading. Guys, I can't make this shit up. So I literally, I'm sitting here looking at this and I'm like, you got to be fist fucking me right now, aren't you? Like,
I mean, yeah.
here I am uploading this good podcast, this content, and all of a sudden we get this news.
Smiling at the computer too, like, oh, this is gonna be great.
People about to catch, about to get their head spinning. It's like people go, our listeners are going to sit here and like, man, he's going to make an impact. He's going to make an impact. I feel good about Jaden Mayava. And then, welcome, guys, tonight. Jaden Mayava flips to USC. Wait, what? What? You were just talking him up.
Yeah.
Listen, just because he flips, man, he's still a good quarterback. I've seen his tape. I think he's a good quarterback. So, the first Polynesian quarterback in USC history, which is crazy to think. But welcome to them white boys. Welcome to the white boys over there in Cali.
Right. I mean, honestly, that was the first Polynesian quarterback for us for all of 5 minutes, and then
shit. Who had the better career? I saw this on the Bird app, dude. I want you to understand this. If you're in the chat and you're listening to this, answer this please in the comments. Who had the better Georgia career? Jaden Mayava or Jamie Newman?
Oh God!
Who had the better career? God. Who had the better career? Shout out Jay Will. Shout out Jay Will on that.
Oh my God!
My answer's simple. It was Jamie Newman because at least took a practice in. You know what I mean?
No, that's a fact. At least he put on, the G and then just went to practice. Not even really, because he probably practiced with red hats.
He put the pads on at least.
Yeah,
I'll take it for what it's worth.
That counts. That matters for something.
I mean, that's more. Listen, yeah, we're joking around. All joking aside, though. I mean, like again, wish him the best there, but it's just one of those things where it's the indecisive, right? The indecision was kind of one of those things that are like, really, like, okay, whatever. Still think Georgia needs to go get a quarterback out of the portal. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens there because I mean Georgia's going to go find a quarterback. I just think that's going to happen.
Yeah,
but it might be the second cycle now, if you will.
That go quarterback went go gone. I didn't know that it was just going to happen like that.
Like my boy Jake Crane says, going gone.
No, for real.
Yeah. So I just wanted to throw that side note there because I thought that was very ironic that as it was uploading, hey, he's flipping to USC. Are we serious? If y'all had been a fly on the wall, man, you would have sit there like I was talking to myself hard. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, here I am uploading this shit. So, yeah, it is what it is. But, Keon, let's wrap this thing up, man. What are your final thoughts for the situation here? Let's put this Nick Saban retirement talk to rest for the time being. I think there's going to be some dominoes that are falling, so expect more from this. But for now, the official retirement aspect we can put to bed. Final thoughts on it before we go home, send it home for the night.
Yet again, congratulations, Nick Saban, on a wonderful career. Happy for you and Miss Terry. Yet again, appreciate you for training up my current coach, Kirby Smart. But yeah, no, hell of a career. Best of luck to you in your future endeavors. Enjoy retirement. I also want to say this because this was a thought that I had in my head earlier. Just real quick, we're gonna take a quick trip to the NFL real quick. Nick Saban and Bill Belichick are both best friends.
Mm-hmm.
Tinfoil hat on, right?
Okay.
What if they both retire the same year and they go fishing on the yacht or on the boat?
I mean, he's got a house in Lake Jupiter, so they can go visit and have a sleepover if they want. They can become best friends and do karate in the garage.
Yeah, I think that's probably what's going to happen.
Terry might not like that. No power tools.
No power tools. No power tools.
That's a toothbrush. No, I'm not. You said what I was going to say. I mean, obviously, hats off to the legendary career that you had, right? Just ahead of the game all the time. Just it's so hard to really say, right? Like he was just ahead of the game, right? You look at, I felt like the fact that he brought in Lane, right, when he did, it was the perfect timing because he evolved that offense at the perfect time because it changed the way SEC defenses are recruited, how they play. You see what I mean? I mean, think about it, man. His offense, right? Lane, his ability to foreshadow and see the game change, to bring in Lane Kiffin, ultimately shifted Kirby's defense. And look at how he viewed the linebackers, because before Lane Kiffin, 240, 250-pound linebackers. Now you look at guys, what we've got right now, 225 and moving sideline to sideline. A lot of linear linebacking play back in them days before Lane Kiffin. So, I mean, while we talked about Lane Kiffin, it was Nick Saban that brought him on, right? Had a voluptuous pass or whatever you want to call it, a rough pass, right? I mean, he's rehabbed Sark. Right? There's a lot of guys. I mean, the tree doesn't stop. I mean, the tree is impressive. Think about 2015 coaching staff for Alabama. That shit was insane.
I mean, just looking at the teams of which I support, because not only did he have Kirby Smart over there, but he also had Brian Daboll over there being, I believe, the quarterback coach or the OC. Remember the SEC championship game where Tua comes in for Jalen Hurts?
Shit. I forget it. I forgot.
But you know what I'm talking about, though. That like he's also had Brian Daboll over there as well. Mm-hmm. So his coaching and Dan Lanning at some point. Am I right? Like,
well, yeah, he was a grad assistant on 2015 team because that 2015 team you had Lane and Kirby, you had Mario Cristobal, you had Dan Lanning, you had holy shit,
Billy Napier because he was the wide receiver.
Napier. There's so many Power 5 head coaches that were on that 2015 staff in all facets of the coaching staff. It's 100%. Insane. It's insane. But with that being said, though, Keon, let's wrap this thing up for the night, man. We'll be back Monday. Hey, we need your help, listeners, watchers. Monday, we're doing the DGD Awards. So we're come prepared. Because we're going to be handing out some awards for this 2023 football season for Georgia. So I want you to come prepared to give us your thoughts and insight on these awards. But with that being said, make sure to like, follow, subscribe, rate, review, all the good stuff, right? If you're watching, listening, do what you do there, wherever you watch.
Leave a comment. Let us know what you think. We will read it. I will read it. And if I like it, I'll give it a like. I might even reply. And even if I don't like it, I'll definitely reply.
Rob will read whatever's on that teleprompter.
Right.
Stay classy, San Diego. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself, San Diego. Oh, man. But anyways, that'll be all for the night. That'll make sure to tune in Monday night, 9:30. we're live on Twitter now too, or X, if you will too. So if you can't make it on YouTube, I like YouTube, but if you can't and you're on the Bird app, hit us up on X. Come in and drop some comments there. Giving you another option to watch the show. With that being said, have a great night and go Dogs.
Go Dogs. Dogs on top.